Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Northern Food and Drink Virtual Festival. We have got something great coming up now in the London and Manchester Kitchen Social in partnership with Pavlova and Cream. It's been running great from them. I've had the pleasure of joining them in February, and it's an absolutely amazing day for chefs to get involved in. Or they also run a baking one as well the next month following it. So here's a little bit about the Manchester and London Kitchen Social.
I'm hungry.
Hi, guys.
I'm hungry now after watching that.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a bit about Manchester Kitchen Social.
Manchester Kitchen Social started last January after a year's success of the London branch, the London kind of division, I guess. And at that time, my mum wasn't very well. So I wanted to come back to Manchester more often. And I thought I would create a way to make it a positive thing, make coming to Manchester more positive and not just for a difficult, challenging time that was happening. So London was already going really well. I thought, why not take it to Manchester? Let's see how it goes. So I put it out on Twitter and I had an amazing response. The food scene in Manchester and the North and Liverpool, I think, is massively overlooked, especially by people who live in London. So it was really nice to be able to showcase sort of the chefs and their dishes and the produce that was in Manchester. So I had people come from Liverpool, and obviously I met the baking Nana there, who was on yesterday, and Rob. They do my bakers events. So how it works is the chefs create 3 dishes. They can use their own produce. I have been lucky enough to work with some suppliers. The events are held at Our Noon Sons in Stockport, and the chefs get to have a little tour. Hi, Claire. The chefs get to have a tour of the warehouse as well. So there's amazing produce there. So the chefs get to use that in their dishes, and then I photograph the dishes. So you end up with morning, Rob. You end up with at least 20. It's normally more than 20 shots, but you end up with 20 shots that you can use all over your social media. And then on the day, everybody gets involved. Lots of social media, Instagram Live, Facebook, mainly to help people and support people building their social media profiles, because food photography can be quite expensive. Hello from Australia. Food photography can be quite expensive. I know, because I work in that industry and I work with larger companies, but I didn't want to carry those costs down to chefs who were just starting out in the field or bakers. I didn't want to have those big costs for them. So having a networking event with more people involved worked really, really well. And the chefs get to build their confidence. They get to inspire each other. They get to learn about plating techniques. I mean, obviously, you've been to one yourself, Sean, and you really enjoyed it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a very different and very great event. I've not seen anything like it really in the industry. So obviously we have Andy involved there in the Manchester one, and you've got another guy for London as well, don't you?
Well, we get work bands with Lockhart in London. So obviously they work with a lot of the big brands like Churchill and the like. So that play how warehouse. So if you're ever in London, you could always pop into the London one as well, Sean. It's lovely to have Andy. Andy always does a lot of the social media for us. I can always check the dishes afterwards because he does them all too. It is just nice. There's a lot of love in the room. There's a lot of hugs. A lot of support. You know, what you doing there, mate? yeah, John, it would be amazing to
Yeah.
get you along to one of them. They're just great. It's a great vibe. It's a great vibe. It's supporting, everybody exchanges social media handles. Everybody eats, everybody tastes. Adam's been to one, Adam's been down to the London one. No egos. There's no egos allowed. One of the hashtags on the Instagram is no egos welcome, because it's not about bringing your ego. It's not about competing. It's about coming along and supporting and tasting and developing and creating and getting excited about food. Oh, you can see it's about getting
very much so. Like, you were quite surprised with me at first because like it was my first time coming in February. Unfortunately, I would have probably been coming to one this month, but obviously lockdown and things like that, we couldn't do it. But I just sat in the back almost. I was stood there just watching the chefs. I was chilled. I knew what I was doing, but I was like getting to know everyone, looking at what all the chefs were doing, getting ideas off the chefs, looking at the plates. Because obviously, as well, I was in the planning of a competition, so it helps engaging with everyone. It's all friendly. There's nothing. No one's like, "What's he doing? Why is he asking me all this?" Everyone's keen to share and help each other and give each other ideas. It's a really good day.
I love that. It's just really nice, positive vibes. Morning, Nathan.
You're right, Nathan.
Nathan, one of Nathan's dish. This is Nathan's dish down here. It is just, it's a nice family atmosphere, and then a lot of the chefs go on to work with each other. I mean, look at this. You've had Jason, and you met Jason at an MKS. I met the Nana. I met Rob, James Sherwin. You just meet people, and they even like a couple of the lads from the London Kitchen social events, Daniel Britton and then Joe Walker, then went on to do collaborations. You just meet new friends, and it carries on. The
chefs who have been at Manchester Kitchen Social that I'm aware of are obviously the Bacon Nana, who are involved today.
It's a birthday today. Happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday! Yeah. So then we've got Michael Wilkinson involved.
Yeah.
He did a demo yesterday. A great dish there.
Yeah, I was in the queue at Sainsbury's when I watched Michael.
Yeah, he was doing buttermilk waffles with fried chicken, Michael. Then we got Jason. James, like you said.
I think Jason's been going to the gym an awful lot. He looks massive. Yeah. I don't remember being that big.
Yeah. And then we've got Nathan as well, who's on tonight at 5 o'clock.
Oh, I'll definitely be tuning in for that. Nathan's such a nice guy as well.
Nathan's doing some really, really interesting dishes. I'll just tell you one, because you know Nathan's flavours, as so do I, from tasting a couple of his dishes, and what his dishes are really, really interesting. Yeah, so it's a shame you're just not taking pictures of them today, to be honest. So he's doing a curried butternut squash with sweet pumpkin seeds, fermented butternut juice, and dandelion and petals.
Yeah, he'll forage those as well.
He's been out for the last 2 weeks foraging everything.
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, the forage.
Yeah, definitely. Here's the Bacon Nana now. Happy birthday!
Yes, happy birthday, Jackie. Thanks for all your love and support. See, there's another mention from Claire. It's just a collaborative experience. I love them. I love going to them. When I first started them, I was a bit nervous because you want to make sure that everybody has a good time. So I always, and I do still get a bit worried whether it is a family. Hi, Ellen. Hi, lovely girl. It is just a room full of love. I know I keep saying that, but it is. It just becomes, you meet other chefs and in a non-threatening environment, and you get to create anything that you want to do. And that's the nice thing about it. You're not working to anybody's menu. You're working to your own madness. I like that. I'm going to use that as a hashtag. And so you can do what you want. And we're luckier to have some great suppliers in as well. We had Seahawk producing.
I think we've got your mum here.
Hi, Mum. I love you. See, that's it. It's just I miss my mum, actually. Obviously, I mean, I'm based in London, but it is nice to get back to Manchester occasionally and see everybody and do these great events.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they're good fun. Yeah, and it's always nice to work with new producers. So I mean, if I am very certain that the events will kick off again once all this goes on, and the first couple back will be a true celebration of just what we've been through and what we've come out of the other end. So there will be some amazing events. Thanks, Rob. You know, when we get back to the office. So if any of the producers would like to get involved, you know, feel free to contact me. Yeah, Seahawk loves these events. Thanks, Erica. Yeah, they do. I mean, the produce that they bring to the events is always good.
Yeah, definitely.
And photographs beautifully. The sea bass and the scallops. It works really well. And then we always end up with a little bit of copper cress. Dan wanders off into the warehouse, brings back a little bit of copper cress, a little bit of a garnish. It's just a nice day. I mean, you were amazing. I was kind of kept checking on you. You all right, Sean? You all right? And you were fine. You were just in the corner, just taking it all in, just watching what they doing, what they do. And it's just a wonderful event. And I really thoroughly enjoy them, you know, and it then gives you the opportunity to post your photos.
Oh,
so you were then able to use them across your social media platforms, weren't you? And that's the nice thing about it. You end up with the photos, and you can use them. So they're great little events, and I miss doing them. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the family atmosphere. I miss the laughter. But they're Dan's sandwiches. I knew we'd have Dan's sandwiches. Dan Barber's sandwiches are the best sandwiches I've ever eaten. I don't eat a lot of bread, but these sandwiches, I mean, they've got truffle oil on, amazing cheddar, and it's all produce you can get from News. Oh God, they're good. I want one of those sandwiches now. Yeah, they are pretty legendary, because we need them for the baking ones, because at the baking ones, the baking and dessert events, by the first couple of dishes, because everybody's had a taste, you're absolutely wired on sugar. Everybody's a bit like, I need something. So you have to have this sandwich. You have to get this sandwich, and you just bring you down a little bit, because the cakes that go on, obviously, the events, you do end up pretty stuffed by the end of the day.
So I've got a couple of questions coming in for you now as well, Margella. So we've got one from Claire. So what got you into food photography?
I was inspired, I was inspired by, I used to go out quite a lot. Don't go out so much anymore, especially in this current economic situation. And I would find myself at these amazingly small events. There was an event, the very first day that I got into food photography, there was an event called The Cube at the top of the Royal Festival Hall, and it was run by Electrolux. And it was just a glass cube on the top of the Royal Festival Hall by Waterloo, and it was an amazing event. And it was only 12 people at this table, and I'd seen, I think it was Claude Bossy, and then I'd gone back again to see Daniel Clifford. And Daniel's, I mean, both the food was phenomenal, but obviously the chef gets to talk to you, and the chef, you know, how did you get into it? What are you doing? And Daniel asked me about, you know, what do I do? And I said, I'm a photographer, but I'd really like to get into food. And then before I knew it, I was at Midsummer House in their development kitchen doing my first ever food photo shoot. And I didn't even realize then, I was into food, but I wasn't that into food that I knew how well respected they were in the industry. I think he only had one Michelin star then, but I just, you know, it blew my mind afterwards, actually. And I'm glad that I didn't really do any research or Google it before, because I think I would have been really nervous. I think I would have been quite nervous about turning up at a one Michelin star restaurant for my first food photo shoot. So I'm glad I didn't Google all of that. I'm glad. So I did it, and then I ended up getting into 4 magazine with Daniel's smoked partridge dish, which, and then that was it. That was it for me. I also love seeing the creative process. I work quite closely with a lot of chefs now, and I love seeing their thought, their thinking, oh, I'm going to try this, I'm going to go with this, what about this, what about this? I just love seeing that idea grow, and then to be able to photograph it and capture all of that madness almost in one photo, that fascinates me. That gets me excited. It to be able to just get all of that from the chef's head and then put it into one picture sounds incredibly nerdy, but that just gets me so excited. It's brilliant. That's
yeah, definitely.
So I hope that answered your question, Claire. Thank you very much.
We've got another Claire. Where should I start to learn how to take food photos at home?
Practice, 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 Claire. Just keep practicing. I'm not very confident about shooting overheads, and they're very, very popular on Instagram and things like that. But I'm practicing. Just trying new things, seeing what works for you. Quick tip though, don't shoot in direct sunlight. It completely white, it just over whites, it overexposes everything. Nice technical term. it completely overexposes everything, Claire. So if you can, shoot on the windowsill perhaps, but not in direct sunlight. And just practice, turn the dish round a couple of times, maybe from this angle, maybe from this angle. When I first started food photography, I must have photographed the same dish maybe 30, 40 times. And then slowly over the process of time and lots of practice, you'll realize which way the dish goes for it to look the best. So just practice, and definitely not natural sunlight, Claire. I hope that helps.
Before I go on to the next question, and it's about what camera you're using, but obviously a lot of chefs out there don't have cameras.
Yeah.
And they're all taking pictures in the kitchen as we're going live.
Yeah.
How do you find getting photos on a phone?
Fine, you can still get very, very good photos on a phone, especially for social media purposes. You don't need a camera necessarily, and the overhead shots are incredibly popular. You know, you've got people like Chef's Eye, Chef's Excellence Plates. They all take from above, and so you can use a phone perfectly well on that, especially if you touch the screen. So if you're shooting from above, touch the screen, and that will create your focal point. And with that touch, you can also make the image brighter or darker because a little sunshine will come up on the screen. And that, so you can still take perfectly good photographs on a phone for social media. You don't necessarily have to have a camera. I'm on a Canon, Michael. I use many lenses. I've got 3-4 lenses that I use. So I use my macro lens. It was a 3.5 55. I love depth of field. I love small focal points. I generally don't shoot above 3.2 f-stop. When shooting from above, which is something I've learned recently, you have to shoot higher than that because it's almost like you're taking a landscape portrait, which you need a high f-stop for. Photography, I would say, doesn't necessarily have to be about your tools. It's definitely more about, I personally believe that you don't have to have the best camera to take the best photos. I certainly don't have the best camera to take the best photos. I mix and match my lenses, I mix and match my focal points. I set up different settings, just practice. I mean, Michael, you're doing some amazing overheads at the minute. I think they're fantastic, especially with all your setting and your styling and things like that. See, I'm not amazing at styling, but through practice, you know, give me a dish and I can photograph the dish. So I'm still learning. You're always learning. Like chefs. I mean, one of the things that I've heard a lot recently on this live is that chefs are always learning. I'm still always learning. You're always seeing new things. You're always seeing what works. You're trying new things, trying to develop your skill. And so for me, that would be, you know, just keep practicing. Michael, you've got a great little camera. Just keep going. Just keep shooting away.
Another one about angles of camera.
Oh, angle in my mouth. Great angle. I love a Bakewell tart. You could do a Bakewell tart. if it's whole, if it's a slice you could shoot from above, I would shoot a Bakewell tart right down next to it. So like this, so you could see the layers. So you could see the pastry and you could see the jam. So I would shoot it straight on, slightly at an angle. So if you've got your point, so if you do your point, so hang on, if your dish is there, I would put your point at maybe 5 o'clock and then shoot like that. But I would shoot it kind of straight facing on so you can see the layers and then obviously enjoy it.
Amazing.
Any more questions?
I'll have a little scan through. There we go.
Yeah. Hi, Daryl. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my invite, actually. Yeah, I'd love I'll photograph anything, food-wise. Michael, give me guidance how to, but I will pay you with food. Yeah, go on then. I'm quite happy to take, we'll exchange tips for food. I do love my food. Daryl Collins asked about afternoon tea photographs. I have photoed twice. Ooh, I have photos Daryl Collins afternoon tea twice in a stunning venue. Myself and Ellen Pope had a little date day at Daryl Collins' establishment. And
Ellen's been absolutely amazing. She's put the event on her social media all week and on her page and things like that. She's absolutely amazing person.
She's a fab lady, and I love spending time with her. We solved the problems of the world in the spa, and then stuffed our face with afternoon tea and champagne, which was very, very nice, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. So as soon as Resort World back up, Daryl, I think you can expect a visit from me and Ellen. Yeah, overdue spa day for sure.
What's your favourite food to shoot?
I love all food. It's the most challenging food to shoot is Indian food. Everything else, it's just because it's almost kind of stew-like. It is quite difficult. So you have to really style Indian food a bit more. So that's the most challenging. I love all food. I just, again, it's the fact that it's coming from a chef that cares so much about what he's putting on the dish. So it's all my favorite food to shoot. All of it.
And the next question leads easy onto that. What's the easiest?
I don't think there is necessarily any easy one, because it's about making the most of the food. It's about making the most of its height or its colours. So there isn't kind of one food that I look at and go, oh yeah, that'd be easy. You want to try with it. I'm not saying anything to that one, Michael. There is no easy food. It just you want to make the best of the plate that's in front of you. So you do still have to think about your lighting and your angles. Yeah, that would be the answer to my question.
For anyone who might be watching, who might be a business involved at a minute and things like that, who are involved in the festival and stuff, you do product photography as well, don't you?
I do, yes, I do, and I have been doing quite a lot while we've been on lockdown as well. I love product photography because you can make it really crisp and really bright, and I find that my style is quite crisp and bright, and I don't tend to work very well. I don't tend to feel shadows and kind of darkness. It doesn't really work for me. I love eye-popping, fresh, crisp, clean images. So product photography gives you that opportunity. Also gives you the opportunity to get the macro lens out, which obviously takes the tiniest detail. So product photography is definitely, I've done Wimbledon Brewery was one of my last ones, and also David oh God, I've forgotten his surname. That's terrible. David Crichton's Careless collection. that was an amazing shoot. Those chocolates are amazing. Obviously, we had to eat them for research after I photographed them because we were asked to, honestly. And they were delicious. So chocolates are always very nice photo, and wine and beer. I love product photography. I love all
if anyone wanted to get involved with the product photography, how can they do that?
You can get in touch with me on any of my social media, all through my Facebook page. I'd be more than happy. Yeah, you'd be able to send it to me. So it would be contactless anyway, and I would just get it done for you.
So that's at Pavlova and Cream on Twitter.
Yes, Pavlova and Cream on Twitter and Instagram as well. And then you can also find me on Facebook, Pavlova and Cream. Just drop me a message and we can start the communication. I've seen you've got some amazing producers here. Honestly, you guys have done, I just want to take a second to say, you guys have done an amazing job. You know, I was very, very nervous earlier about, you know, coming on and seeing how it would work, but you've made the process very comfortable. Still a bit nervous though, funny, you know. But you guys have done a fantastic job, and it's nice to see some money being raised for Hospitality Action. They have obviously been, you know, in high demand in these difficult times for everybody in the hospitality industry. So well done, Audrey. I take my hat off to you and Jackie and Craig. Well done. You've just done a brilliant job, and I'm sure everybody's feeling the same way. So well done, you guys. Hat tips, invisible hat tips in your direction.
Thanks very much. So we've got another one from Claire.
What kind of things do you bring to help style your pictures? I've just started buying some nice linens from a company called Wilbur and Wolf, and they're really nice. And then so you just kind of wrap them around a little bit. I'm still practicing the styling bit. Luckily, at the Manchester Kitchen social events, we've got Andy there that just brings the most beautiful plates from Crosby's. I think this is one of my favourite plates. That's a Genware. I think that is a Rack. No, that's not. That's a De Gren, and that's a Churchill. So we have some beautiful plates to utilise. So they help a lot, and they also help with the plating technique. And I find myself in charity shops sometimes picking up random bits of cutlery and things like that. Those are always handy. Charity shop buyer, I'm actually looking forward to getting some more. Now I'm trying to practice my overhead styling a bit more. I will be finding myself in charity shops a bit more, picking up, oh, that's quite nice. I mean, I feel quite sorry for James sometimes, my lovely partner, and my lovely patient partner, because the house is full of plates and props, and yeah, we've got quite a lot. Yeah, Andy is the best. So we do have quite a lot of props and plates, but I love a bit of plate porn. Love a bit of plate porn. I am a sucker for a plate. So yeah, it's just about seeing what works for your style, and trying new things. It's only a photograph. If it doesn't work, you can delete it and try again, try a different look.
While you're on plates there, someone's just asked a question about plates.
Do plain white plates make a better photograph? Sometimes, John, it depends, you know. For example, I think this dish down here, I'm not sure it being on a plain white plate would have necessarily made it a better photo. Whereas this one, I mean, this image has been used so many times. There's just something nice about a white plate. Also, for some parts of the hospitality industry, B&I or livery halls and things like that, they generally tend to stick to quite plain white plates. It doesn't necessarily make it a better photograph, but sometimes it works with the dish and the situation that it's in. Sometimes if the pattern is too diverse or too crazy, it can detract from the dish. So that's a case again of maybe, who did I watch yesterday plated up on two different plates? Who did I watch? Oh, you had a chef on yesterday who plated up on two different plates. Oh, who did the lobster? Who did lobster crumpets? Craig. So Craig plated on two different plates yesterday. And that's a nice way to check your own presentation. So then you can choose which ones you fame for it. So sometimes we do that at Manchester. Robbie Lorraine normally plates up on two different plates at London Kitchen Social. He does two different setups. He's great. They're all great. All my chefs are great. I feel like the mother hen sometimes. I feel like a very proud mama to all this amazing team and amazing family that we've got. So John, I would just try, if you like it on a white plate, then shoot it on a white plate.
Like, funny enough, I used my dish as the thumbnail for this video before we went live, and I used the scallop dish. I did.
Yes.
So obviously everything on that plate was white. So it was a lot of cauliflower textures and purees with a pan-fried scallop and apple. So that would look lost on a white plate, and you wouldn't see it. So I used a black plate, not a slate. It was a black plate with a bit of texture on it.
It was from Villeroy Bosch, actually. They've actually commented on how nice that dish is. That was nice. From Andy from Crosby's. Yeah, sometimes, exactly. If you're using a lot of white, if you're using a lot of purees, apple, celeriac, so there are certain things that would get lost on a white plate. So it is nice to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You'll be able to. Oh, do you mostly use natural light or studio lights? It depends, Michael. It depends. The product photography at the minute, I'm shooting right next to the window, so I've got loads of natural light. Studio, if you're doing a full day shoot, you need studio lights, because if you're working from 9 until 5, you can't trust your natural light all day. It's not constant. So from that point of view, you would definitely need to use studio lights on the same settings all day, pretty much. Obviously, depending on how much natural light you've got coming in. But you'll be able to look at that anyway. And I normally then take 2 or 3 shots of the same dish, taking your lighting up, take your ISO up a tiny bit. Excuse me 1 minute. That's not vodka yet. Oh, it's all right. So I normally shoot the same dish, maybe 3 shots with different light settings, and then that way post-production, because it's quite difficult to see from your tiny screen, unless you're using Capture One software, then you've got the bigger screen. It's quite difficult to see. So that's always quite a nice way to do it, Michael. But they're both, yes, it is Andy Flack that does all my delicious, lovely plates. Well, brings them all. There's another. I just need to do a little shout out to my friend Baron von Bowen, who makes the most amazing bespoke porcelain that I sometimes use for London Kitchen Social. He is a mad genius. That would be the only way to describe him. Absolutely larger than life. Makes the most incredible bespoke plates. And Maham Anjan, I've used her plates before as well. It's just nice because you can bring your own stuff. Like Chris brings suitcases of the things when he used to come to the bigger events. And it's just a nice way. You can get 3 people involved in one photo on their social media. So from one photo, so for example, with yourself, Sean, when I would post one of your photos, it would be Sean. So it would be you. It would be Seahawk scallops, it would be Villeroy Bosch plate, Andy Flack, Noons. So you're mentioning 5 people within that. So for social media growth, it works very well, because it's not just you that you're promoting everybody else, and then they'll promote the same thing. So one post is magnified by 5, because 5 people are then posting it, which is why it's worked and grown, which is why I believe it's grown so rapidly and so well. Because people are excited about getting involved, and they're proud of the dishes that they've created.
And quite a lot of the dishes I actually did have actually now been picked by Staff Canteen to use. So I put them on my Staff Canteen. Yes, and I've actually got some interesting news about Staff Canteen. I don't even know if I should even mention it today. The article was meant to be over to them today, and they will be releasing it. I'm actually the main member of the month because of a lot of the dishes and things that are going on for the Staff Canteen. That's fantastic. Like, all the dishes I did are probably getting about 500 likes on the Staff Canteen page. So it gets real good traction, having a lot of people tagged in, and gets you noticed.
Yeah. Exposure. It's exposure as well from necessarily stuff that you wouldn't be able to do yourself. Yeah, that's amazing, those likes on the Staff Canteen. It's very proud. Again, it's like that proud mummy feeling when the Staff Canteen post it. And it's see your name, and it's great. It just works. It works. It's a really simple concept, but it really, really does work.
Yeah, because then they tag you in and other places in. It works really well because they give more exposure to everyone else then as well. Absolutely.
And then people see you, and then they follow you, and then they follow me, and it works. It's a great way to get your images out there, and a great way to start getting your images out there. So if you haven't got the time to do it yourself, it's nice to come along to the events. Yeah, I love that development kitchen at Noons. It's so much. It's just such a great space. Because I know Jason and Michael were going to do their pop-up there, which I was going to take my whole family to, including my mum. So it'd be nice to get the development kitchen back up and running again. I know.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking forward to getting back in that atmosphere with chefs and hugging. I miss hugging the nana, and I miss hugging everybody.
The development kitchen at Noons is great, really. So they've got a great little setup with the rationale and everything like that, and it's a proper, almost like a commercial kitchen for the chefs to get involved in.
Yeah,
without the pressures of it, and you can go there as well if you're use Noons as a supplier as well to get involved with them. But what's good about the kitchen social is you can go downstairs and pick a few bits from Noons to use.
That's a lot of the favourite bits, actually, because obviously you go down and it's like kid in a candy store for chefs because of all this beautiful produce. It's part of the day, as well as the sandwiches, as well as the famous sandwiches. It's just a great day. It's just a great day. And I always, when I get the train back from Manchester, I'm still always really excited and really full of energy. And then you look at all the social media from the day, and it's a wonderful experience. I feel very proud to have put it together and to have people enjoying it so much. And there are days when I think, oh, I did that, and it's great. It's great that everybody enjoys it so much.
I think about it now. So obviously I did mine 3 months ago almost, and I love it, the fact the images keep popping up now.
Yeah. Well, especially nowadays as well, because I don't have any fresh content to post because I'm not shooting. But one of the nice ideas and one of the better ideas about when this whole thing happened, I didn't know which way to go with the social media. I didn't know whether posting images from past events would offend people, because it was almost like I wasn't recognizing what was going on. So I had to change the social media format a little bit to a more sensible way of, look, we are fully aware of what's going on, but these were the good times, and these were the cracking shots, and these chefs are still around. So I just changed the wording a little bit, and you add some hashtags. We will get through this together. Food pics to make you smile. So you're recognizing what's going on with the chef and hospitality situation, but you're not necessarily waving it in people's faces. People don't want to see it all the time. They want to be reminded of being back in the kitchen, how creative they can be. Especially now, a lot of chefs are cooking at home. It's quite nice for them to see a dish like yours or Eddie's or James's or Daniel's or Dave's, to go and then go, oh yeah, I quite fancy that. Oh, that sounds amazing. And then trying it at home. So I am hoping that by continuing to post across the Manchester Kitchen social platform and London Kitchen social platform, that I am continuing to inspire, to excite, to get the brains going a little bit for people. And then, to send positivity and to send a little bit of happiness. I just, I do hope that that's how it's coming across. I do hope that's what people are seeing when they see the social media posts.
Yeah, it's coming across really well. I love seeing everyone's dishes that are coming up.
That's great. That's great to know. Thanks.
Your mum says Dan does some good baking butties as well.
Dan. Oh, I don't know if Dan's even listening today. Bless him. My mum does love. Yeah, my mum came along to one of the baking events. She's currently on a 3-month break from her chemotherapy. So, but when she was having chemo, she developed a sweet tooth. She was just craving sweet things all the time. So I brought her along to one of the one of the baking events, and her and Jackie, the baking nana, got on amazingly well. And my mum just sat in the corner all day, just eating, tasting this, tasting that, tasting this. She absolutely loved it. So it was really nice to have my mum there and for her to see what I do. It was a really proud moment for me, actually, having my mum there. It made me feel really nice. I was worried about her, obviously, completely overprotective. But she had a really nice time and she ate a lot of cake.
That's the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah, she did eat a lot of cake.
Like, then Nana brought some cake to the chef one, and it was absolutely gorgeous. She bought as well the pork steamed dumplings as well when I was there.
Oh, they were really good, weren't they? Yeah, because she was making them for the family. Yeah, Nana, because a lot people don't know this, but Nana's actually not got a very big sweet tooth. So Nana likes to come to the chef's events to eat the food there. But obviously she'll bring cake as well, which is amazing. But it's always nice. It's always nice to have the Nana around. She's just got such a wonderful, wonderful positive energy, and it's contagious, and it's nice to have her there. Amazing hugs and amazing cakes. Good to have a bit of cake. But those dumplings were amazing. Yeah, they were good. I like those. Yeah,
definitely. And apparently, you've given Baking Nana her favourite picture ever.
I did. Yeah, I'm going to probably look into doing this a bit more, actually. So for Nana and Rob, because they've been with me at the beginning from the Bakers events, like their support on social media has been fantastic. I don't think the Manchester baking event would have grown so much without her support. So I bought them both a canvas, probably about that big, of their favourite pictures. And Nana's is the Victoria sponge, which, funny story, wasn't even supposed to be photographed that day. She'd bought it for my mum, for me to take back to my mum so my mum could eat it. And it was just this beautiful Victorian sponge.
With strawberries on top and chocolate, is that the one?
No, it's the one with the copper crest purples.
Oh, yes. That one's gorgeous, that one.
Oh, it was absolutely, so it was dehydrated raspberries and purple, I think it was Shisho. I can't remember, but it was purple. Oh, it just looked amazing.
Dan bought all the copper crest down for it, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it. We love getting copper crest involved, and it's just such a beautiful product. I'd like to work closer with them. So, Frank, if you're listening, we'd definitely.
Paul is definitely around because Paul's been involved in the festival and planning with
Paul, yes.
So great. So they've got on board to help come up with a partnership and supplied some of the chefs with herbs to use for the event. So it would be great to have them more involved with Manchester Kitchen Social.
Yeah, I really would. That would be fantastic.
And we love Nana.
We do love Nana. She's awesome.
And Rob's just said about his first ever picture.
Yeah, it was the Nordic Ware Bundt. God, those Bundt cakes. I'm so hungry now thinking about all this amazing food. Yeah, it's definitely worth putting it. I mean, and I got it from Photobox. It's just really easy to do. That's the nice thing as well. So because you get your images in very high res, so you can put them on canvas, and you also get them social media size, so you can download them straight onto your phone and start posting them, which is really handy. And obviously I'm there to give social media advice, and if anybody needs it. It's quite an all-inclusive event. Lots of fun, and you learn stuff and you get photos. Yeah, it is such a lovely story about that cake. It really is. It was just, and then Jackie got to meet my mum at the next event, and they got an absolute house on fire. It was really lovely.
The next question's very interesting because I know you're in the process of a lot of learning.
Ooh, yes, I am currently studying a degree in digital marketing. I'm 2/3 of the way there, and I've got my exam in August. I will be probably rebranding Pavlova and Cream to work more with digital marketing. So it would just be a development towards digital marketing support, helping brands develop with their digital marketing, and to offer the photography as well. So it's just a continuation of a brand. It's just growing up a bit more. Studying at my age 42, is quite difficult. Actually, you forget to learn. You forget how to learn. It's quite challenging, but I'm really pleased that I'm doing it, and it'd be nice to actually have a degree. I'll have a degree. That's really weird. I'll have a degree. So that's the next step, Claire. So to continue on with the food photography, to continue to build the brand. I think I'll be doing Manchester Kitchen Social and London Kitchen Social for a long time now, because I genuinely do love them. They're fantastic events. And then I'll just carry on with everything else with the digital marketing side of things. So I'll be able to work for bigger brands and things like that. So that's the next step for me. Just a little bit of brand development, but no desire to hang up the camera just yet. That's for a while. This is, photography is something that I can do till I'm in my 60s, 70s, and I intend to do so. So that's you just, again, you're always learning. So you're always learning new stuff.
Definitely. You're just coming up with a couple of new ideas for your website and things like that as well, aren't you, at a minute?
Yeah. Just working on. I've got to update the website at the moment. I'm quite lucky to have a pretty good web company, Biff Bang Pow, based in Oxford. But I know how to make a lot of the changes myself. Practice again on WordPress. It's all, I'm kind of a little package that I can do everything myself, which is quite nice. Apart from cook. So, which, yeah, but I have started making curries from scratch, which I'm really proud of, actually. They are very good.
Yeah. Well, you and your daughter have been baking as well, along with the Twitter Bake Along, haven't you?
Yeah, Cassidy's quite a good little baker, actually. She's a lot more confident than I was in the kitchen at her age. And I can only just use a big girl's knife now. I was never very confident with sharp knives, but I've got a big girl's knife now from Chef's Locker, which I absolutely love, actually.
They're amazing over there, aren't they?
They're so good, but I need to get a stone, because they're all getting a bit blunt now. But I've got a couple here, so I'm using those. But Cassidy's quite a natural in the kitchen with her baking. She seems to have an eye for it. So yes, I've been photographing her. So we were going to make truffles, peanut butter truffles this weekend, which we still may do. So I'll be posting them on my social media later.
You made a really good picture with the cookies, didn't you?
Yeah, the one with the milk next to it.
Yeah, it's using like a glass of milk to bring something to a picture is very interesting. Well, that's it. You think about when I think about styling, because I'm still quite new to it, I think about almost like a word association. What do you associate with cookies? Cream, milk. That's kind of where my styling process starts. Yeah. So cookies and milk. I love that picture. That was done with natural light as well. I was on the floor on a really low table. I had the light coming in from the back window. So that's another natural light shot. Oh, lovely. Is there what was your biggest tip be for anyone wanting to take pictures maybe and trying to take pictures at home? Practice, mess it up a couple of times, get it wrong. Would probably be kind of the best thing, because you learn from that. You learn from getting it wrong. You learn from putting it on the wrong setting. Sit your camera on manual and faff around with the lighting, faff around with the shutter speed. Just keep practicing and, get it wrong. Get it wrong a few times. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nobody's going to see it. You're not putting it anywhere for anybody else to see. It's you. It's about you learning. But yeah, get it wrong a couple of times. That would be kind of my best advice to start photography and practicing. Well, maybe would you say practice maybe with a cold dish or a cold dessert that's already going to stay for a while, so you can practice for a long period of time on the one dish? I would say that. Not ice cream or anything that's going to melt. Food that's not going to deteriorate in any way. So no sauces that are going to start rising to the top. No kind of, you don't want anything like that. So yeah, I mean, even things like just a little bit of fish with some vegetables. I try and I'm very lucky to work with food that comes straight from the kitchen, or it's almost straight from the past, really. So it's really, really fresh. So it is easier to photograph there. So yeah, I would start. That's a great tip, actually, Sean, for anybody who wants to kind of start doing it. So work with food that's not going to change if it's there for 20 minutes. Definitely. So it's not going to start. The gravy's not going to start going funny. Or I've always had trouble with, like, I like playing on my phone with making the pictures and stuff like that. And one of the hardest things to do is ice cream.
Oh, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. I remember last year I worked with a company called I'm Real Ice Cream, and it was on the hottest day of the year.
Oh, nice.
Was a nut because you're doing it fresh, and you see these crazy videos about people using glue and things like that for food photography, but I'm lucky enough to work with fresh produce, so I don't need to do that. And I'm not working with Marks and Spencers. I don't need to use the same uncooked chicken, photograph the same uncooked chicken for for all day. It's the produce is there. It's fresh, and it's photograph. You photograph it then and then.
Yeah.
So ice cream is just hard. I wouldn't use that as your first project. That's for sure.
Yeah, cake, definitely.
Cake's always good. If it's just maybe a nice slice of chocolate cake, because it stays still. It doesn't move. It doesn't change. It's not melting.
It sort of doesn't deteriorate for a long time as well.
That's it. It's not going to change. It's just a case of practicing. And I know I keep saying it. It's just trial and I mean, I'm self-taught food photography.
Yeah. While we're talking about deterioration, there's a great one just come through from Claire about her ice cream cookie sandwich.
Yeah.
Which ended up like custard.
It did. It was like a creme pat custard at the end with just a cookie in the middle. It was still eaten. Somebody still ate it because it was amazing, because they were Jackie's cookies, ice cream, and Claire had made, which there's somebody else talked about this sauce. Rob and Jackie talked about this sauce at the beginning. It was an espresso caramel sauce. Oh, it was so good. I think that was the sauce that my mum was dunking the gingerbread biscuits into. It was a well-loved sauce. So yeah, it was an amazing. It's people working together to create dishes. They're all on my social media. So if people want to have a look at the Manchester Kitchen Social, London Kitchen Social events, you can find them on Twitter. Espresso amaretto chocolate sauce. It was. There we go, Claire. Thank you. You can have a look at all these dishes. They're all on the social media and the Facebook page. So you can have a look there and see all these amazing creations that the chefs have done. Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, and sort of obviously when we get back up, you sort of arrange these once a month, don't you, in Manchester, and similar to down in London?
Yeah, twice every other month in London, and consecutive months for chefs and bakers in Manchester. So there is an event every month in Manchester, but it alternates between the chefs and bakers. I did start off with having the chefs and the bakers in the same room, but it doesn't really work. It just didn't work. So we separated the events and just had events for chefs and events for bakers, and obviously special guest Nana at the chefs events whenever she's free. If she wants to get along, we always appreciated having Nana there.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, I definitely will be setting them up again. Once it's safe to do so, they will be set up and done again. And they'll be, the first couple will be extraordinary, because people will just be, everybody will be in a almost celebratory state of mind. So it'd be.
Claire's been absolutely great with the questions, and she's just put one in where I'm struggling with at a minute as well with a couple of my photos, and it's steam on food.
Well, don't photograph it from above. That would be sure. Just take loads. Almost put it on burst. It's almost like when you're doing an action shot. So I posted something on Pavlova and Cream recently, and I called it the money shot, and it was so there were strawberry drips. Now the way that you can do an action shot is you just absolutely boom, 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 snap, 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 snap. You may end up taking 30 photos, but you'll end up getting one that works perfectly. So steamy food, snap, 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 snap. Even try and get a burst, maybe if you've got a burst option on your phone, and you should be able to just get one or two where it's not focused on the steam, it's photographed on the food. So yeah, that would be the best advice. That would be how to do it there.
And I thought we'd just summarise up quickly on how people can get involved in the future with Manchester Kitchen Social, obviously, and London Kitchen Social, when all this is over, and the process, maybe the cost involved in the event as well?
Well, I mean, the chef's fee or the baker's attendance fee is £75, which at the beginning I wasn't sure how to price it. But when you look at the networking experience that you get from the day, the social media exposure, and if I can provide the produce, I will, because I want to keep the chef's costs down as much as possible. But from that £75, you do get 20 at least. There's normally more high-res images for you to use wherever you like. So I kind of threw the costs around a little bit with a couple of chefs, and that seems to be quite affordable and doable. And then there are sponsorship packages available for producers. Nordic Ware sponsored one of the cake events last time. Riso Gaia got involved with the last event because we had the Young Risotto Chef of the Year, Andrew Williams, 2019. He was there. So they were there. So there are sponsorship packages available, and obviously that would just plaster your brand all over the social media platforms. So it's a great way to not only support the chefs, it's a great way to promote your own brand as well. Obviously,
definitely.
For example, Seahawk, they get all the photos too. So they sponsor, they bring in the produce, and then they get all the photos. They can use them across their social media platforms as well. So it's not just, for us to use, it's for the producers to use as well.
Which really helps in turn, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a great way to support each other through food photography.
Yeah, definitely. So the best way to get in touch with you is through your Manchester Kitchen Social and London Kitchen Social for that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of everywhere, really. Pavlova and Cream on social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can get in touch with me then. You could also drop me an email at magella@pavlovaandcream.com, which is where the website is, Pavlova and Cream. But I am everywhere. I'm everywhere. So I'm on Instagram quite a lot. There is a separate Instagram for the London Kitchen Social and Manchester Kitchen Social, and also Pavlova and Cream. Feel free to get in touch if you've got any questions, if you'd like to attend, if you'd like to be part, if you'd like to sponsor an event. I'm up for conversing for sure.
And that's wonderful. Thanks very much for joining us, Magella.
So much.
I'll just finish again with a little bit about what the Manchester Kitchen Social is about, so you can all see.
All right, thanks.
Ollie Hoyle, Catering Manager.
Peter Molar, Doorman.
Ricardo Oliva, Concierge.
Ulrich Edwards, Concierge Assistant.
We've got you.
Linda Anderson, cafe owner.
Ioana Gheorghiu, junior sous chef.
Nuno Pinto, bartender.
Mark Black, head porter.
Andrea Demir, receptionist.
We've got you.
Aaron Dixon, apprentice chef.
Federica Pinna, pastry chef.
Sabino Mazzone, pastry chef.
Imre Bochkay, barista supervisor.
We've got you. Shwam Maharjan, sushi head chef.
Mitchell Collier, duty manager.
Anna Grabczewska, public area cleaner.
Whatever you do in hospitality, isn't it good to know that someone's got your back in case anything goes wrong?